So happy Saturday. I hope that you all had a fantastic week. I'm here to encourage you. I'm also here to give you some announcements. So let me give you the announcements real quickly. I want to invite you all to Kingdom Living Ministries here in Gastonia, 705 East Franklin Boulevard, again in Gastonia, North Carolina. Our Sunday services start at 10:30 a.m. Our Tuesday discipleship class starts at 6:30. We would love to have you come and fellowship with us. Today we had our outing. We do an outing with the church and outside family and friends every second Saturday. So we had fun. I really enjoyed that time with the church and their friends and family. It's always a blessing, just to come together outside of the norm, outside of the church setting. So I definitely love that part of what we do. We try to do it monthly so that, we will continue to stay a tight unit as a family. I really believe when it comes to ministry that it's not just about just coming together to fellowship on 2 days, but it's also about just being close knit. And once you learn to be close with those who you go to church with, then, it would eliminate a lot of misunderstanding. I've been around people and they say, well, I go to church, I get the word and I go home. I get that. I really do. I get that. But at the same time, the church or the place of fellowship or the place that we assemble is supposed to be a place that we draw strength from one another. And if you've ever followed me in any capacity within these last 17 years, then you would know that I'm the kind of pastor or person who believes that it is not just left up to the headship. It's not just left up to the leader to do certain things. I believe that not only can I preach the word, not only can I minister prophetically, not only can I lay hands and walk in an area of deliverance or, you know, just embrace the kingdom of God to come in for the power of God to do what he does. But I also encourage those who are in the room, in that space with me. Always encourage others to believe in themselves and know that, hey, the anointing is just not on the leaders. Now, yes, we do have a certain level of grace, but don't forget you can do also what God has, called you to do. Whatever he's called you to do, you can do it. Just like I'm trying to do what God has called me to do. So I said all that to say it's not just about coming together for those days of fellowship, but it's also about learning each other, learning one another's personalities. Again, I understand some come to get the word and they leave, but then you don't know those who labor among you. We do a training at our church in September. Every September we do this training, and I think it's very important that everybody understand that who's with you in church, who's among you. And a lot of times we just do just leaders, but it should just be just leaders that go through certain training. I believe that should be for any person who's part of your church. I really believe that, you just need to know who's in fellowship with you, right? So that's just how we flow here at Kingdom Living. All right. So with that, again, we had a great time in our outing. I'm sure you're going to hear about it tomorrow. They probably going to let y'all know how I done well. I went back to my years of playing basketball, but I will leave it right there. But yeah, that was fun. I love, love my church family. All right. So again, we do that every second Saturday of the month. All right. So I don't know what next month's going to look like, but we will definitely make that announcement. All right. So what else we got? Nothing else this month, but we do have Unrobe. So I have on our church page, Kingdom Living Ministries page, I had launched the event a couple of months ago. And I also just recently done another one. So you can register, just let us know if you're coming, if you're interested in coming. It's in May. It's going to start May the 15th through the 18th. Excuse me, the 16th. You know what? Here I am about to mess up myself. I got so much, y'all, so forgive me. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. 16th. Okay. The 16th through the 18th. All right. So the 16th through the 18th. So on that Friday, it's going to be at 7 o'clock. That Saturday, we're going to start at 11. We're going to have some, that Saturday is going to be more like a workshop. We'll have a couple of speakers here. Our very own speakers, and then someone from the outside is going to come in and they're going to just dive in when it comes to mental health or whatever situation they have gone through. So I'm looking forward to hearing, and we will announce everybody and post everybody later. But I'm so looking forward to hearing what those ladies have to say pertaining to Unrobe, okay, and what it means to them. And then Sunday, we will conclude at our regular Sunday service at 10:30. All right, so when you think about Unrobe, we did Unrobe in New York. It was a big deal in New York, Rochester, New York last year. I was fortunate enough to do an interview with Fox News, and that was important to me. That was like a milestone because Unrobe is not just church. Unrobe is just not just one of the ministries that we say, hey, let's just add it to the church to give me more duties, right? That's not what Unrobe is about. Unrobe started back in 2009. I was already in ministry. I started pastoring in 2007, and at the time I was single. And of course, I had my children, and I just didn't know what it was going to look like being single and in ministry. You know, it wasn't so many, no, let me rephrase my words. There wasn't a lot of people who I could really go to at that time. Now, my leaders, yes, of course, I could go to them, but they're married, right? But as far as someone being single, I didn't have anyone at that time who was single who I could really go to and say, hey, be straight up with me. What does this look like? And a lot of times in leadership, you know, or just in ministry in general, we like to say what we don't do. And that's because we either done aged out of it or we haven't had the opportunity to do it. And I didn't want to fail God. I didn't want to fail God. I didn't want to fail the ministry. I didn't want to fail me. So I was really like praying and asking God, you know, God, send some leaders to me who's going to be transparent and help me through this process. And God was like, nah, I'm not going to send people. I'm not going to send any leaders to you. I'm going to send you to the people, send you to the leaders. So that's how Unrobe got started. It got started with that conversation with God. And my armor bearer, Michelle, she was unrobing me. And as she was unrobing me, you know, of course, I knew how badly I had been sweating up under my robe, but she didn't know. The people, the congregation, they didn't know, you know, at that time. But when she began to unveil me, when she began to unrobe me, of course, I was now being exposed. And then that's where I got that. You don't have to expose me. I will expose myself. In other words, you don't have to tell me why I have the attitude that I have. I can tell you why. You don't have to tell me the reason why a person, or I'm just going to say me for the sake of Unrobe. You don't have to tell me why I may have low self-esteem or why I may battle with fear or identity crisis or, you know, or just any other issues that not necessarily me, but a person may have. You don't have to tell me why I do what I do. I can tell you. Okay. And that's what Unrobe does. Unrobe affords any person. Now, originally it was designed for leaders and people was coming from everywhere. I mean, truly people was driving up from Winston-Salem just for a Saturday moment, just to come into a safe place to where they could be exposed. We didn't record. And even with the conference, there will be no recording. We don't want to record people's vulnerability. Now, I know we love social media and we like for certain stuff to be out there so people can see what's happening in our ministries, but sometimes some things need to be just intimate, you know, just whoever's there, that's who see, you know, and that's why I always keep Unrobe private. I've never expected thousands of people to attend because, to be honest, some people don't want to be healed. They really don't. Some people don't want to be delivered, you know, and Unrobe goes beyond getting the bucket, you know, it goes beyond the paper towels. Unrobe is designed, it's designed for you to see you, okay? That's why I say you don't have to expose me. I can expose myself. It's designed for you to see you through the message. It's designed for you to see you and then gather the tools that you need for you to be successful or for you to come out of whatever funk that you're in. I tell people, and I pray that no one misinterpret what I say and how I'm saying this. But I tell people often, I'm not a religious type of woman. I'm not a religious type of pastor. However, please don't misunderstand that um, I'm not religious or spooky, but at the same time, I definitely understand the power of God's word. I just don't get, I just can't get with a whole bunch of formalities, if that makes sense, or certain things. I believe in organized things. I understand organizations and certain things need to be organized. I got that. I get that. That's not what we're talking about. What I'm talking about is being in bondage because it is said to do it a certain way. That's what I can't get with. I teach at this ministry, specifically at Kingdom Living Ministries, to build your relationship with God, to not only build, but understand that your relationship is more important than any building. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't want you to come into the building, because we do, right? We need for people to come into the building so we can build, so we can draw off of one another. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is it starts before you get into the building. So when you know that you have issues, you have a jealousy issue, or if you know that you got mental health issue, I'm not saying that you can't work in ministry, but what I am saying is you have to understand that not only should you pray and ask God for deliverance, but there are some things that you are accountable for. That there's some things that you have to do for you too, in order for you to stay balanced. And I think that tradition teaches us to just pray and that's it. And don't misunderstand, because again, if you know me, you know I'm a praying woman. But you can't just pray and not expect God to make some changes in your life, but you also have to make some changes too. So once there's an awareness, then you have to start working. So hopefully I'm making myself clear when I say that, because that's what Unrobe is about. Unrobe is not just you coming and being part of a setting and you understand that the reason why you are a jealous person or a person who deals with rejection is because you was rejected as a child. Most of you know that, right? But how do you overcome that? That's the question that needs to be dealt with. How do I overcome rejection? Not just in one season, but every season of my life. Because even if you think, okay, well, I'm cool, I'm good, trust me, that thing will try to come back and resurface to make you feel again rejected. Why? Because rejection don't want you to feel part of. Rejection don't want you to what? Become that person, that full person that God has called you to be. Rejection want you to turn around and reject yourself from the process. So you have to ask yourself, why do I self-sabotage my relationships with people? Why do I self-sabotage my advancement? Why do I reject myself? When you are invited, think about this. When you are invited to events, when you are invited to maybe a gathering, a family gathering, or just to hang out, and you always say no, why? And you may be saying, well, Pastor, I just don't want to be around people, or maybe I got something to do. I get that. I get that. And those could be the cases. I mean, really, those could be your scenarios. But at the same time, when we talk about rejection, sometimes we reject ourselves from a situation because we do not want, because we don't want to feel rejected once we get into the room. You understand? We don't want to be rejected once we get into the room. So to keep from people ignoring us, people not talking to us, or people not complimenting us and then making us feel a certain way because now we're in the room, but no one is acknowledging us, let me just reject myself. Let me just pull myself back. That way I don't have to feel these other things that I really have going on, such as low self-esteem, such as abandonment, okay, such as the lack of confidence. So let me pull myself back. So no, I don't want to go, or no, I don't want to do this. So we know there's a difference between rejection and self-rejection. But my point is, it's not just identifying the root, but how do we gut it up? And that's what Unrobe is about. Again, you don't have to expose me. I expose myself. And the thing about Unrobe, it is a moment of transparency. One thing I love about Unrobe, nobody's looking at your title. Everybody know that in the Christian community that I operate up under an apostolic prophetic anointing, or let me say it this way, apostolic prophetic grace. But once I come into the setting, yes, people will address me as Apostle Q or whatever. But the reality of it, I am Q. I am Platanya. I am vulnerable. I am not holding back anything because I don't want nobody looking at me strange. Right? That's the purpose. This is why we don't record. This is why, even at my church or whenever I'm out ministering, if I'm doing deliverance on somebody, or I'm prophesying and it's something personal, we don't record. It's serious, but it's not that serious to expose other people's business out there, because sometimes people don't want their personal stuff exposed. And I think we really need to start respecting people and their privacy. That's why sometimes people don't want to come to prophetic ministries, because they have seen other people expose their privacy. When it comes to me, and this is just a teaching moment, I guess I'm going to go this way. When it comes to me, if it's a leader, I don't expose leaders. If it's good, of course, but if it's like maybe some modifications they need to make in their life, I would never expose them openly. Now, in the past, no, I didn't. I would say this, in the past, I would just prophesy, right? But now, as I've grown and mature in the level of prophetic, I understand some things are not meant to be exposed openly. If it's for that person, it's for that person. And that's what I teach here at this ministry. No, we don't just put everybody's business out like that. Sometimes, well, really, if it's God, it's God. And the protocol would be, if it's something intimate, personal, you put it in that person's ear, or let them know, hey, I would like to tell you something after church, And I'm not talking about, just calling them later or whatever, but I'm talking about just truly what I want to say. I'm going to tell you later, but this is not for the public knowing. Okay. But that's just how I operate. Because again, some of our business is just that, it's our business. And some people don't understand that exposing people or saying what God says and saying it openly doesn't make you a mighty man or mighty woman of God. It doesn't. It just makes you a person who may have heard from God or who may not, because you could be operating off of familiarity. And it makes you a person who can cause some damage, okay? Because once that other person comes through, once the anointing has lifted, and then they see themselves on camera or go back and other people have seen the video, it may cause shame. And you don't want to do that, because that is not God to cause shame. But, I didn't get on to talk about that part. That's just, for me, that's just an area of teaching. But, I tell people, he broke the mold where he made me. I know I'm different, but that's just me. I don't believe in exposing people to hurt people or to embarrass people just because I may have heard from God. All right. That's number one. So again, once we come together, we don't record. I do encourage you, if you get a prophetic word, if you come to my ministry, or if you are part of an event and I am ministering, I do encourage you to have your phone on you, because I do minister the prophetic. So if I prophesy to you, you don't want to miss it. Okay. So I don't mind waiting while you get your phone and hit record. Nobody should. Again, this is what I teach and train at our church. Get your phone, record. If you guys say, wait a minute, hold on. Because if it's truly a word from God, I'm not going to forget it. at that time. I'm not gonna be like, oh God, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, so I can tell you what God is saying. No, get your stuff so that you can hold me accountable for what I said. And that way you won't be confused about what you are believing that God has said to you. All right. So again, I don't have a problem when I'm out, and I will be out. As a matter of fact, March the 22nd, I will be at the Patrick Center for the 100 Wailing Women in White ministry. And I don't mind you recording me, but again, if I'm ministering to you prophetically, you're going to have to be quick, because if I'm going from table to table, you just got to be ready. But my point is, I don't mind you recording your prophetic word, because it's yours and it's okay. And that's different from, again, us collectively recording people as they being ministered to, because again, some things are sensitive. All right. All right. So that's from my book of Prophetic 101. All right. Yeah. So Unrobe, you don't have to expose me. I will expose myself. All right. It is truly, listen, this event here that we're going to host in North Carolina, here in Gastonia, listen, you don't want to miss it. You really don't. I don't hold a whole lot of events. This one and Push in November are the main two that, I really believe in, and I believe that God has given me, the prayer conference. But you don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss what we call Unrobe 2.0. We do have some shirts that we are selling to help support the conference. The shirts are $20. And of course, everything is coming back to the conference. So if you are wanting to purchase a shirt, please feel free to reach out and we can get it to you, or we can make sure you have it the day of the conference. So I want you to come out, not just one day, but if you can, come Friday night at 7 p.m. Saturday, we're going to have, like I said, a few speakers that Saturday, and then Sunday. Okay. That's our regular service. You don't want to miss it. All right. That's that. All right. So that's church related. Now, real quickly, let me throw this plug in from my company, KPI. So, you know that KPI runs all year round because it's a company, right? During the summer, we will continue to have our summer program for the math and reading. Now, like I told a parent today, if your students are already coming to me as a student, as a regular client, they can continue. I do have sessions available on Saturdays. I work on Saturdays from 9 to 11. I can extend it to 1, except for the second Saturday of the month. But outside of that, they will come Monday through Thursday from 8 to 12 or from 9 to 1. All right. I do have payment plans available. Parents can start paying right now. The first day of session is June the 2nd, and it would end August the 7th. So they will come Monday through Thursday, 4 hours, and we would definitely do a deep dive in with their math and their reading. I've already been working with parents about how to understand their child's IEPs, their scores when it comes to their math, reading. So parents, they already in the know. But during the summer program, really before we get started, we're going to have another session so that the parents will understand, their parts that they can truly play in their lives, in the lives of their students for the academic school year, for the upcoming academic school year. So we will talk about what does it look like when your teacher say MOY or BOY or whatever, or the EOGs. What does that look like? What does your kid have to score? I have programs that I'm purchasing myself from my company that your kid can utilize during the summer, so that whenever they go back to school, it's the same program, not attached to the same, because the school is the school, KPI is KPI, right? So again, I'm paying for this, right? So what happened is, even though they may be on something such as ISL, right? They're on ISL up under KPI. I'm going to still give them what they need so that when they actually go back to school, they will be ahead. Remember, my goal is to show growth. Okay. My goal and what I have been able to prove is 2 grades. Okay. I've been able to prove, I can prove it, but I've also been able to demonstrate that my students, when they come to me, that they show growth as far as 2 grades. Right. And that's what we want to do. So what that looks like, if a child comes in to me and they are in the 3rd grade, meaning that they are in the 3rd grade going to the 4th grade, That could be true. However, academically, they may be on a different level. So they may be on a first grade level, really. And I will explain that to the parents. And I'm going to give each parent their own curriculum or their own outline as far as what I'm going to do to help ensure that their student will improve by 2 grades. Now, listen, I'm not even going to say this is God. I'm just going to tell you how confident I am. If your child does not show improvement by the first report card, I will reimburse that parent. Now, the child got to do their work, all that good stuff, but I am willing to reimburse 1 month of that child's summer payment. All right. Because I'm that confident in what I can bring to the table once I have your child in front of me on a regular basis. All right. And I'll put it in writing, but no joke. I can help your child improve 2 grades, okay? 2 grades, or not just letter grades, because now we're changing some stuff, whatever, especially in elementary. But like if they are on the first grade level, then by the time they get through with me, as long as they follow the plan, I can assure that they will be on 3rd grade. And like I said, if not by the first grade, by the first report card, if you don't see any improvements with their grades or whatever, let me say the first semester. Let me back that up and say the first semester, because let me say the first semester. Then I just reimburse you your money. That's how confident I am in what I have structured, what I have put together. All right. So yeah, you can start registering now. All right. You can start registering now and start paying on it. The first day of class is June the 2nd. The last day is August the 7th. Now, you may say, well, I don't have a kid. Well, if you got a grandchild or niece, nephew, or just somebody that you want to help sponsor, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to apply what I said. Again, this is how confident I am in what I can produce when it comes to your child and their ability. Like I said, when I have your child one-on-one with me, and as long as they are actively participating and doing everything, because everything that I give is based off of that child. So everybody's situation is going to be different. Okay. How I model, how I put everything together is going to be different, which makes it different from the public setting once we get into the classroom, right? This is why I can bet against myself. All right. So you can call me at 704-349-0119. You can email me at Quatanya@KeenanProducers.com, or just reach out here on Facebook regarding the summer program. All right. So yeah, that was a lot. I said a lot. I gave you the announcements. Let me encourage you real quickly. All right. Be encouraged. Don't give up. Regardless of where you're at in this season of your life, trust God, okay? Trust God. If you have to go back to a prayer or a prophetic word or a particular scripture, go back to it, but don't give up. Don't just look at what we're going through or what's going on the outside and think that that's the final say. You have to know who we serve. And if you don't serve the God that I'm going to say that I serve, right? Then I want to encourage you to look him up. I want to encourage you to work something out with him. I want you to talk to God and say, I know what man says, but reveal to me who you really are. However you need to talk to God, I just want to encourage you to talk to him. If you're hurting, talk to him. If you're sad, if you're confused, talk to him. If you just don't know what to do, talk to him. But I do want to encourage you to build a relationship with him, and then understand that not only is he our God, but he did send his only son to die for us. Now, it may not make sense to other people, and it may not make sense to you. Why would somebody die for me? Well, somebody chose to. Even when we mess up, even when we are not perfect and other people remind us that we're not perfect, when we see the scars on our bodies and even in our minds and just our daily conversations, we realize, man, why would he die for us? But he did, right? So the least we can do is talk to him and say, okay, God, I'm going to try this, or I'm going to try this again. Doesn't matter how many times you try with God. One thing I love about God is he will allow you to. He don't turn his back on. God does not turn his back on us like we turn our back on people. You can come to God as many times as you want to. You can go to God as many times broken. You can go to him with the same situation, and he's not going to say, no, go back, fix your face. Or no, I don't heard from you one time today. No, they ain't the kind of God that I serve, right? But I do want to encourage you to seek him out. I want to encourage you to seek him out and see what works for you. Okay? Yeah. All right. I'm going to stop right there. Join us tomorrow morning, whether you're here on Facebook or whether you come here on our property. If you come in, we're not asking that you have on a hat. We're not asking that you have on a suit. We're not asking that you just, be looking like you just came. We just ask that when you come in, that you come in expecting a move, that you come in expecting God to do something within you. Okay? My point is, it's not a dress code here. Matter of fact, tomorrow I probably wear a t-shirt and some jeans. So if you want to join me wearing t-shirts and jeans so you'll feel comfortable, go ahead. I would wear a hat, but I think I don't know if I can wear a hat. But nevertheless, I'll wear some jeans and a t-shirt. I'll put on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt tomorrow. So you can come in and feel comfortable if that's what you want to wear. Now, if you want to get suited up, listen, if you know me, I know how to do that too. But my point is, come as you are. Come as you are. Come in and just experience something that is totally in a room, an environment of freedom. All right. I tell people all the time, we may not do it like you, but we still serve the same God. All right. All right, you all. I got a lot of stuff I got to get done. Don't forget to move your clocks up an hour, so we don't want you to be late for church. Our church starts at 10:30. All right. So go ahead. I done put it in Slack for the Kingdom Living family, so y'all know what's up. Everybody else, don't be late for your church, your local church. Move your clocks up. If you have to, just be aware that you will lose an hour's sleep. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for this time. I just felt relaxed, talking to y'all and just chit chatting. But tomorrow we will definitely take it to the next level and giving you what I believe God has given what God has given to us as the body. All right. Be blessed. If you got any questions about Unrobe, let me know. If you got any questions about the summer sessions, let me know. Or anytime, you can always register your child, throughout the school year. Again, it is a company. All right. So you don't have to just wait till the summer. All right. God bless y'all. Nothing happens. I will see y'all tomorrow at 10:30. Be blessed.